Welcome to Hamdard Medical. Today in this very lecture, I am going to explain the 9 regions of the abdomen. As you can see in this very picture, we have divided the abdomen into 9 regions by these two vertical lines and two horizontal lines, as you can see in this very picture. Now, it is important that you should know the exact location of each of these lines, each of these horizontal and vertical lines. First of all, I'm going to explain the location of the horizontal lines, these two lines. And after that, I will be explaining the exact location of the vertical lines, right? So this is, we have the superior horizontal line, and this is, we have the inferior horizontal line, right? So you can basically draw the superior horizontal line at multiple regions in the abdomen, right? So the first region, the first location is actually the transpyloric plane, and the second location is the subcoastal plane. Now, I'm going to explain that where exactly the transpyloric plane is lying. The transpyloric plane is actually lying at the middle of the distance between the jugular notch. This is, we have the jugular notch, this very notch, the notch that is superior, that is on the superior aspect of the manubrium actually. And this is, we have pubic symphysis. So the midpoint between the jugular notch and the pubic symphysis is at this very level. Actually, we have the transpyloric plane. As you can see, this very line is the transpyloric plane now, right? So this is, we have the transpyloric plane. Or you can define the transpyloric plane and an alternative way in such words that it is basically the middle point of the distance between the inferior aspect of the sternum, that is the xiphoid process, and the umbilicus. As you can see, this is, we have the navel or the umbilicus, and this is, we have the xiphoid process. Somewhere here we have the xiphoid process. So the middle distance between the midpoint between the xiphoid process and the umbilicus, this very point actually, this is the middle point between these two regions. So this is, we have the transpyloric plane. So you can divide so you can define the transpyloric plane in two ways, right? Okay. This was regarding the first location where you can actually draw the superior horizontal line, right? Now let's talk about the another location where you can draw the superior horizontal line. The second location is called the subcoastal plane, right? And the subcoastal plane is lying just below the 10th rib. As you can see, this is, we have the costal cartilage of the 10th rib. Similarly, we have we have this costal cartilage of the 10th rib. So the subcostal plane will be somewhere here. This very plane is actually the subcostal plane, right? So this is, we have the subcostal plane. So subcostal plane is lying anteriorly just below the 10th rib or the 10th costal cartilage, and it is tracing back at the level of the T3, right? The not T3, actually L3, right? The lumbar 3 vertebra, right? While the transpyloric plane is tracing back at the level of the L1 vertebra, right? L1. So you should remember that the transpyloric plane, this very plane, is actually tracing back at the level of the L1 first lumbar vertebra, while the subcostal plane is tracing back at the level of the L3, that is the lumbar 3 vertebra. This is, we have L3, not T3, right? You should remember that. Okay, guys. So this was all regarding the superior horizontal line. Now let's talk about the inferior horizontal line. So as you can see, this is, we have the inferior horizontal line, right? And the inferior horizontal line is lying at the level of the, again, the inferior horizontal line can be like drawn at two levels. Either it can be drawn at the level of the anterior superior iliac spine. Somewhere here we have the anterior superior iliac spine. So you can draw the inferior horizontal line somewhere here, or you can draw the inferior horizontal line and this level, and this as we have actually at the level of the iliac tubercle, right? So this as we have at the level of the not the, yes, the iliac tubercle, right, or the iliac crest actually, right? So this is regarding the inferior horizontal line. Now let's talk about the vertical lines, the two vertical lines, right? Basically, the two vertical lines are actually the downward continuation of the midpoint of the clavicle. So somewhere here we have the midpoint of the clavicle. So this as we have the mid clavicular point actually. These are we have the mid clavicular lines. As you can see, this is we have the clavicle, and the mid clavicular lines on the both side are actually indicating. They are actually indicating what? They are actually indicating the downward, they are actually indicating the horizontal, the vertical lines, right? So as you can see in this very picture, these mid-clavicular lines continue downward, and they are forming the two vertical lines that are dividing the abdomen, right guys? Now, as you can see in this very picture, due to these two horizontal and two vertical lines, these lines have actually divided the abdomen into 9 regions. As you can see, this is we have the one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth region. So we have 9 regions in the abdomen now, right? Now let's name the different region of the abdomen. As you can now, we are actually giving specific names to each region of the abdomen actually, right? Now, first of all, I'm going to name the first 3 regions, as you can see. So the middle one is called the epigastric, right? So this very region is like somewhere above the gastrium, that is we have the stomach. Gastric is the word that is used for the stomach. So this is just about the stomach, and the stomach actually lies itself in this very region, but the majority of the epigastrium is actually superior to the lesser curvature of the stomach. So that is why it is called the epigastric region. Now, on the both side, lateral to the epigastric regions, we have the hypochondric regions. We have the hypochondric regions. Now, hypo means below and chondrium means cartilage. So these are, we have basically the costal cartilages. So these very regions are just below the costal cartilages, the hypochondric regions. One we have the right hypochondric region, and the other one we have the left hypochondric region, right? Now let's talk about the middle 3 regions of the abdomen. So the middle one is called the umbilical region. Of course, over here we have the umbilicus, or the navel, or the belly button. So this very region is like we named this very region the umbilical region. Now on both side, we have the lumbar regions, right? When we have the right lumbar region, and another one we have the left lumbar region. Now at this very level, basically we have the lumbar vertebrae. So that is why we are naming the this very region is the lumbar region. One we have the right, and then we have the left lumbar region. Now let's talk about the inferior 3 regions of the abdomen. Now this very region, and the middle one is called the hypogastric region. So of course this was we have the epigastric region. So that is why this is we have the hypogastric region. That was epi, and that was this is hypo, that is below the stomach, right? Now, this very region is also called the pubic region, or this is also called, sometimes it is referred as the pelvic region, right? Now, on the both side, we have the iliac regions. Lateral to the hypochondric region, on both side, we have the iliac regions. Now, why it is called iliac region? Because we have the iliac bones over here. Now, these broad bones, as you can see, that is forming the majority portion of the hip bone. These are, we have the ilium bones, right? These are, we have the iliac bones. So that is why they are named as the iliac region, right? So one we have the left iliac region and the other one we have the right iliac region, right? So this was all regarding the this was all regarding the 9 regions of the abdomen. I hope that you will have enjoyed this very video, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and do share the link of this very channel with your friends so that they could also get benefits out of it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Allah Hafiz.